Alright, what's going on everyone? We have the 5080 today paired with the 7800X 3D. And we're checking out Arc Raiders here. I'm just going to be running around in this kind of semi-starting area. I've kind of done the intro already, so it's a pretty good spot to just go ahead and get a test out of the way, see how we're running. A 94 FPS here, and our PCL is at 25 milliseconds. Since this is competitive, I wanted to have that up there, so I'll try to call that out because I know it's pretty small. All right, so yeah, we're no frame generation. VSync, of course, is off. Reflex is on. We'll go ahead and turn on that boost just to make that PCL even better. I highly recommend using boost. It does a pretty good job making your PCL come down a good bit. All right, so everything in here looks pretty good. We've got static lighting on. We're on the epic settings right now, and then everything else is pretty much left alone. So if we go all the way down here, I'm just going to go down to high and just kind of work our way down and just see what we can expect as far as a super high FPS without worrying about any kind of upscaling. Because right now we are just on DLAA, and that gives us 98, 99 FPS here. So everything does look really good, though. This game, you know, is not something I've had a chance to get really into yet. Just been doing other things, but it definitely looks like something that is gonna be pretty damn fun. So yeah, our PCL is at 20 milliseconds right now with that reduction in quality. So you know, again, it still looks really good. All right, I'm just gonna jump over and see what all we can do with a little bit more adjustments here. So I'm gonna come down here. Of course, DLAA stays on. We're gonna leave our lighting on static. That is the lightest load as far as lighting goes, and we're just going to keep rolling. So that gives us 121 FPS with pretty good visuals still, 18 milliseconds with, again, no upscaling. So this game is definitely running really well, and I am at full 4K, so you know, this is quite impressive. But the 5080 is no slouch, so I am pretty surprised that that PCL is as low as it is, though. All right, so everything does look pretty good as far as performance itself goes. Now, we haven't done any upscaling or RT yet, so we're going to go down one more and just see what a low setting looks like. Again, since this is a performance type game, you know, you are competing, I want to make sure to show all of the lower settings as well. Now, that does give up a lot of visual quality. The textures are definitely lower. I have seen worse low settings in other games, though, but it is pretty noticeable. So that does give you 152 FPS here with 15 milliseconds, 14 on your PCL. Again, that is no upscaling at all. So we're going to go into some of the upscaling settings here just to see what you can expect from that as well. Again, I'm just kind of running around getting numbers here. I'm not really going to jump into any sort of the main meat and potatoes of the game. I just don't feel like I've played enough of it yet to really provide that. So right here, we're just going to turn on some ray tracing and then work our way back up and see what we need to do as far as when a good upscale would be. So we're going to go up to basically the ray tracing low setting. Let it go ahead and do its thing. It is thinking about it. I hear my fans going. Okay, so there's dynamic global illumination. Going to bring this all the way back up to epic because that was around 100 FPS or so. So right here with low enabled again and on DLAA, we are looking like 80 FPS, and visually speaking, it is incredible looking. It looks way better. Of course, I did go from low no RT to epic with RT, so you know that jump is quite noticeable. And you're still at 24 milliseconds here of PCL with no upscaling. So I don't know what magic they've done on this game, but I've not really seen a game run quite this well at 4K in a very long time. So it's kind of nice. All right, so right here, our PCL is at 32 milliseconds, FPS at 73. I wouldn't necessarily call this a competitive setting. However, it is good. It's good enough for me, for sure. But then again, I don't compete a whole lot. So I wanted to make sure I show everything here. So let's go into it again and bring up that ray tracing a little bit more. So let's bring in the dynamic lighting to medium. Let's see what that does. All right, so we are Still looking good. 73 FPS here. PCL is right at 26 milliseconds, 85 FPS over here. Again, you know, I'm sure that there is a little bit of swing depending on where you're at in the game, but, you know, I'm noticing between 70 and 80 being pretty, you know, being pretty common. I'll put it that way. So I'm trying to avoid any sort of major combat because I will definitely get killed. I have not have not practiced up on this game at all. But yeah, so right here at 76 FPS. So let's just keep on running through here and see what all we can expect as we load in a little bit more assets. I'm just wanting to see kind of what happens when I get closer to this architecture and this kind of, you know, whatever you call this building, I guess. So yeah, we're at 76, 75 FPS here. So let's just jump over to that next level of RT. All right, so I am on a little bit of a timer with this one, but that's okay. So this is dynamic high on Epic. And again, still looks really good. 30 milliseconds on your PCL, 79 FPS, between 70 and high 70 it looks like. Just not quite touching 80, but still really performative, especially for DLAA. I mean, this is incredibly good. So looks like I got about 11 minutes left, so I need to get on with it. But yeah, we are at 75 FPS here with a PCL of 27 milliseconds. So let's go on up to the very next level. Again, still on that transformer model of DLAA, still looking really good. Let's go all the way up to Epic and then back out of this. And let's see, that brings us down just a hair to 70 FPS or so. So this is all completely maxed out on DLAA, and you are looking like well above 60 at 4K. Which this is, you know, quite impressive. Really, there's not many games that stay above 60 whenever you have everything all the way cranked out on 4K, even on a 5080. But what we can do to get this even higher is to introduce a little bit of upscaling. And what that's going to do is it's going to render that background resolution a little bit lower and improve our frame rate considerably. So let's jump in here and do that. So let's go up to quality. And quality still looks quite good, and that gives us a 101 FPS experience here, 26 milliseconds on our PCL, 25 milliseconds, and yeah, 107 FPS here with everything completely cranked out to the max. I mean, very flat frame time graph. 1% low is 76 FPS with a 0.1% low of 61. That little blip just passed, so it recalibrated. But yeah, I mean, pretty solid performance here. There's absolutely no reason that you should worry at all about this card. I'm gonna go see if I can actually start collecting some stuff here while I'm in the game. But yeah, we are looking very good here. So 107 FPS with very, very little stutters or anything like that. Not really any stutters whatsoever, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff, go ahead and get it. There we go. I'm trying to actually play the game a little bit. All right, so yeah, without going into it too much, I don't want to bore everyone to death. But yeah, 104 FPS here. So let's just keep on rolling up while I have the time to do it. Let's come into here and go to balanced. So balanced brings us up to about 113 FPS with a PCL of 20 milliseconds. So that is very responsive. This whole entire test has been responsive. You know, I've heard that this game runs super well, and that is accurate. This game runs very, very well. Again, at 4K, typically games do not run quite this smooth. And you can definitely tell that they've put into work to make this a good running title here. So 110 FPS with 20 milliseconds on your PCL. That's really good considering we're completely maxed out visually. All right, so let's come into here and see what we can do with one more notch down. Let's go up to performance. And performance on 4K, obviously, you know, I've said it before, it looks really, really good. Performance, transformer model looks insanely good. I mean, there's hardly any noticeable difference to me between this and even quality. It just looks, it looks great. I mean, the sharpness is there. Everything's still there. There's not this fuzziness at all. But yeah, 130 FPS, and that gave us PCL that's in the high teens. So we're looking good here. So as far as FPS goes, you know, we can definitely see about getting this up a little bit more for those who are maybe on a 240 hertz monitor like myself, and you're interested in potentially maxing it out. I would stick with performance, and I would get rid of all the dynamic lighting, of course. And let's just see what Epic does for us here. So that gives us 146 FPS, 145 FPS. PCL's down in the 19 range, 19 milliseconds range. 147 FPS over here. So as far as everything goes, though, I mean, this is extremely good running title. So let's see about dropping it down a little bit more and see about going down to maybe a medium at these settings and see what kind of uptick we get on our performance there. So that gives us 180 FPS with a 15 millisecond PCL. Now, I probably wouldn't want to play the game all the way at low, even competitively, because it takes a pretty big visual hit. And I mean, really right here, it's definitely not as pretty as it was, but it still looks pretty good. I would probably explore maybe some frame generation at this point, just to see, you know, if that gave us the 240 that we're after. So that gave us 240. So it looks like about a 2x frame gen is what you're going to need at medium to hit a 240 hertz refresh, if that's what you're into. And your PCL is still in the high teens, so it's still using the super high base frame rate to get that PCL. And you know, everything looks really good. So, oh man, let me see if I can actually not suck at this. I'm pretty bad. Every time I shoot these things, they just don't die. Come on. There we go. Hey, the first one I've ever taken down. Good for me. All right, so I'm going to close out with that. I think it looks pretty good. 5080 on 4K gives you a really good experience on this title, especially if you're into getting some really high frame rates and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to do one more thing. Actually, I want to back that up. I want to go with quality and bring everything all the way back up, just to have one last look at like what it could look like absolutely maxed out with that frame generation turned on. All right, so I'm going to go with totally maxed out settings with frame generation, and that gives us a PCL of 26 milliseconds with 170 FPS. So still not the 240, but it is pretty close to a 180 hertz refresh, and certainly takes care of monitors that are at 144 or 120 even. Totally doable though. This game runs great, and I think that for someone on a 5080 with a 4K monitor, which is a pretty common setup, that yeah, you're going to have a pretty good experience with this title. So that's going to wrap it up. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. Thank you again for the over 1,000 subs that I hit last week. I was overjoyed with that. If you want to join the family and subscribe, that way you don't miss anything, please do so now. And thank you all for coming back as repeat offenders and watching my videos. I really appreciate that. So with all that, I will see you in the very next video. Peace.